Welcome back, everybody. My name is Joe. This is Work Hard RC, and today we're going to be installing something inside of our SCX24. I haven't done too many videos on what I've been doing with our old Bronco that's still the Bronco. We've basically been building things from the ground up. So today we're going to be installing the Furitek brushless motor with the MicroPython ESC. We're going to try to fit it inside of a little Endura body. I'm going to show you this here. I know there's a lot in this body that some people might have questions on what we have in here, so we're going to be breaking it down piece by piece as we go along, but today we're going to focus in on the brushless motor and the MicroPython ESC. This little guy is amazing. Let's go ahead and talk about it, get it installed, and test it out. So we ordered the advanced bundle, the high performance bundle from Main Hobbies for the Furitek motor and transmission. So we actually got the transmission and the motor together. I've been wanting to try out a brushless system, especially after going to the RC Super Show and seeing a lot of the brushless systems there. I was holding out for Endura because I like to do some of the Endura builds and do them complete like that, just to kind of test out a more budget build. But when some of the guys were running Furiteks and I talked to them, I decided to get one of these, try it out, and it's been really good. So these boxes are empty. I already have the motor installed, but let's go ahead and show you what comes in the packaging so you guys can know if you guys order this. And again, if you guys want one of these, we do have it linked in our description from the Main Hobbies. We are affiliates, so I hope you guys can support us by clicking on that link if you guys want to pick one of these up. But you do have the ESC and the motor. This one has the ESC installed, so this little nice plastic box has the ESC, which we have right here. We'll go over that in a minute. Also in the packaging, you will have the motor. Comes in a nice little cardboard box. If I take this out again. And inside of that cardboard box, you have the transmission and the motor already put together. So you don't have to worry too much about that. It comes on a nice little foam padding there. So that's what you get in that high performance bundle kit from Main Hobbies. You also get a double-sided tape adhesion for your mounting system for the ESC. So I have it installed inside of this. Now this isn't any particular one brand. It's kind of a Franken build. I did the custom body. You guys can check that out. If you guys want a tutorial on that, let me know. I can definitely do a tutorial on that. If you guys want me to do a giveaway on one of these bodies, let me know also. I may consider that in the future, doing a tutorial and also doing a giveaway on this body. Let me go ahead and turn this fan off. I don't know if that's interfering, but so what we're going to do is be installing that ESC with the motor. Now, you can see how I have that motor installed there. We'll go over the specs here in a little bit, but just wanted to show you how I install that. This is an Endura frame, the low center of gravity frame there. I went with this because I've been using it in the past and it's been working for me. So that's how we have it mounted there. I wasn't going to reverse the motor. We did have a aluminum plate from a Little Guy Racing Parts, so I can reverse that motor. However, when I reversed it, it did get away in the body, and I decided just to turn it back the way it was. So we still have plenty of room to mount the battery and everything else, but let's go ahead and check out the ESC real quick. Now this is the MicroPython, and when you open it out of the box, you're going to get the wiring here. That's going to be for the... this is going to be for you to mount it from the ESC to your receiver. So we're running a FlySky. Let me grab that for you. It's a bigger controller, but this is the, which model is this here? I know it's FlySky, the FSGT3B. I did that because I had a little more specs to be able to tune different things. But again, you get that in there to mount to your transmitter receiver. You also get this. This is going to give you that Bluetooth capability. Now, the Furitek that I have here does have an app that you can download to either your iOS system or to your, what's the other one? iOS and Google, those other, Android, that's what it is. So you can mount it from different apps according to what platform you have. And then all of that together, you'll be able to mount this and get that hooked up to your phone, where you can adjust different telemetries on your ESC here, and we'll go over that as well as far as what you can adjust with the app. So that's the ESC. We plan on putting it right here, probably maybe behind in the rear end here. But let's get that mounted up. We'll talk about some of the specs for the motor, for the ESC. We'll go over the app, but let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so we have our SCX24 frame here. The way we have this set up, if you guys have any questions on it, is basically with a Gladiator frame. Again, this is an Endura frame, and then we use the Endura body that goes onto like a Bronco or the JLU. I did fit it a little more custom because I wanted to use this body. So you kind of see the rear end kicks out there in the back, and you kind of see how I mounted that. So if you guys have any questions on that, please ask. I can do a video, or I will eventually do a video on an entire build. But for now, let's take a look at the motor that comes with the high performance kit. So you can see how I have that mounted there. Mounts just like any other motor. You have the two mounts there with the screws you see on the bottom that you would mount like on any other of your motors. And then you have a screw on the top, which this one I stripped at one point. I haven't drilled it out, so that's something I have to work on that setup there for the motor. But that plate will eventually be replaced with the Little Guy Racing parts. Now again, this build, I'm kind of doing like a Franken build on parts that I like. And this Mini Komodo is one that I wanted to test out. So as of the recording of this video, Endura just came out with their brand new Mini ESC. We have that, that'll be arriving next week. So once this is done, we'll be doing a side-by-side comparison of this with the MicroPython, as well as the new Endura ESC that just came out. That's a lot smaller than their old one. So we'll take a look at that at another video. But for now, any questions on that as far as how it mounts, that's how it is. And again, with certain plates like we have here, this one, I'll take it out and show you guys. See if I can get this opened. So this plate here by Little Guy Racing Parts, you can see that you can mount the motor in either direction. So non-directional plate there, and again, my idea was that I was going to mount this the other way, but given where this seam is for the body, it wouldn't allow me to close the body, so we just kept it facing forward. But maybe in another build, maybe for that Endura build, we'll use something like that. But again, that's the motor, very straightforward there. Hooking up your drivetrain, looks really good, very compact, very small, gives you a lot of room here at the back to mount different things. So nice center of gravity there, mounted there kind of forward, gives everything nice and simple. So if you guys see this servo here, there's also a servo we ordered. I'll go over that in another video just to kind of show you here real quick. That is the EcoPower. Now one thing real quick to go over what I like about that is that it has the wiring in the rear. You see that wiring sticking straight back instead of on the side. And then it also has all of the hardware and everything built into it to mount onto your axles and to the link. So just a quick look there. We'll go over that in a future video. But really cool servo there. But now let's take a look at the MicroPython. Very small. You can see it in the palm of my hands, what that looks like. Really nice and compact. It does have an on and off switch. You see I have it connected to the, switched over to on. That's just because I'm probably going to keep it always on. The way I'm going to mount it is that's going to be kind of hidden, so I'll keep that on all the time. And of course, it'll just turn on when I plug in the battery. So that's something to keep in mind, is that if you're going to be mounting it up against something, that little switch is hard to get to. Even if you were to take, let's say, like one of your tools, for example, one that you're more commonly going to use is a 0.5. You can switch it on and off with that, but that's about as good as you're going to get. You're not going to be able to get to it with your fingernail really, or your finger. So that's one drawback on the on-off switch if you're going to actually use it. Otherwise, I'm just going to plug in that battery and use that as a switch. So there is the MicroPython ESC in all of its glory. You have the connection here for the motor, and then you have the connection here for the battery. Now, what you'll get in the packaging as well is the little transmitter that's Bluetooth. That's going to go right here, just right there in the middle. And then you have the plug here on the side that's going to go into your transmitter for your controller right there. So that's all plugged in. Now they come with the wiring straight. If anybody's wondering how to get that twisted up, you basically can just wrap it around like a pencil or something small and just kind of get those wires kind of tight. I did that so that I don't have everything kind of running everywhere, and just kind of tighten it up a little bit, and that'll give you that little spiral there. If anybody's wondering, that's how you get that. So let's go ahead and throw some double-sided tape on here. We're going to mount this to the rear with the switch facing forward. So that's going to go right up against this, and that'll mount right like that. That's where I'm mounting that piece there. You see how I have everything else wired up here on the side, nice and clean. We're going to put our battery basically on top here. We do have a 3S LiPo coming in. Now this is 3S capable as far as the ESC. Right now we have a 2S 45C LiPo. When I get the 3S, I'll do another video. We'll do some running with the 3S. So I'm going to have that mounted just like that, with everything tucked in, have this plugged in like that, and then at that point everything will close. I'll have to figure out how we cover the rear end here so you don't see all that wiring, but that'll be another video. So let's get this stuck in here, get it plugged in, take a look over the specs, and we'll take it out and have some fun. All right, so we have everything mounted on as far as the ESC. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we did that here. So you can see the ESC mounted here in the rear. Now that button is actually going to be facing forward right in this direction, so you see that's covered up. I could have technically probably put it in the back. Let me see if I can give you a shot back here. But again, that switch is very hard to get to in general, so it's just going to stay on, and then we'll turn it on and off by plugging in the battery. So you can see how I have the wires run here from the servo going on the side. Everything's out of the way. You see the plug there that goes into the ESC. Very nice and compact. And then we have the motor plugged in here running along the side into the plug there. Very nice and clean. Again, this isn't the cleanest setup, but for me, so far, it works. So I'll show you how we're going to put the battery in. Now, again, this is a 2S battery, and I'm going to have it mounted angled kind of forward. I found that with this body, this works the best. So we're just going to mount that here, and then we'll get it turned on. I'll show you guys quickly on my phone the app, and then we'll do a quick screen record to kind of break down each piece individually as far as how it functions. So let's grab the controller, turn it on, so we can check that out. All right, so we have the controller, goes on there, and then we're going to go ahead and plug this in, and we will hear what it sounds like once it's on. Let's again turn off this fan. And we're going to go ahead and plug that in. And it is on. You can see a little blue light there to indicate that it is on. Just to test everything, we'll have functionality on it there. And if you guys aren't familiar with this motor, I'll show you just briefly. We'll close this up. How slow of a crawl you can really get with a setup that's brushless like this. And again, this is only 2S, so let's just take it about as slow as we can get it. If you guys can't tell, that is in motion. So pretty cool little setup there. Really check out how slow that's going. So this ESC is for the 124 scale. It can operate with a 2S or 3S battery. Again, right now it has a 2S battery. I do have a 3S on the way. The burst current on this is 50 amps. And it goes up to, the BEC goes up to 7.4 volts. So very nice as far as functionality. You can see it all nice and compact back there. Again, I will be covering this up, but you can see how everything I have it mounted in the back. So that little ESC for me saves a ton of space. I'm going to be doing a video on my Bug 24 build, and you'll see how much space I don't have in that little guy. So this is very nice and compact, very durable, very strong. It is waterproof, and again, for my purpose in this build, trying to use this body and having minimal space, trying to basically just keep it clean, it has proven, and again, I've already driven this, so I can speak on this. It's proven to work really, really well. But what I'm going to go ahead now is go and take it out, give it a test run. We're going to take it on some inclines. Now, of course, that'll be because of the motor and the ESC, given how it's all put together. But again, the tires will take a big part of that too. And I'll talk about that in a future video. These are Endura silicone inserts, and we'll do that in another video. But everything is going to help this thing crawl up some good angles. But let's go ahead and take it out, see what it can do with the Micro ESC installed and the Komodo motor. MicroPython power here. Let's go ahead and check it out. Before we go too far, let's go ahead and check out the app. So on the app, you're going to start a screen record for this so we can sync this into the video. But the app is, take this back here, right here. That's what you see when you open it up. You can download that from your iPhone or your Android, Furitek. You can also scan the QR code on the instructions. It'll take you to it. But in order to see everything that it has in it, we'll break it down real quick. You can check the throttle and the RPM. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger right now. And you'll see that it goes up from there. You'll see that it goes from 3% to 23 to 30. We'll go up to about 50% throttle, up to 100%. And it also shows you the temperature, the RPMs. Again, this is running currently a 2S LiPo. We'll test it out with a 3S here in the future. But that's one part of your telemetry that you can check. You can also check the running. So within the app, as far as the running portion of it, you can do forward or reverse, voltage cutoff. Another cool thing is you actually check the voltage output for the servo. So right now we have it at 5.5 volts. You can do up to 7.5 volts. You can check the startup power, the rotation direction. You can do the max forward, max reverse, max brake, drag brake, and the power FOC. That's under the running portion of the app. Under throttle, you can calibrate it to be either narrow, normal, wide, or super wide as far as the neutral forward. You can change the punch, the brake, and the low speed. That is under the throttle, and you can also check out the throttle curve, and you can also record that for stats should you want that in the future when you're running and you want to record all the stats as far as how it ran during that run. And then you also have the battery here. You can check the voltage on the battery, the current, the power, and then the correction factor for the battery. You can also change the name of the car. If you have multiple ESCs and Furitek's running on different devices, different cars, you can change that for the MicroPython. So really cool that they have all of those stats and different things within the app. And again, I think Endura is going to have something very similar. We'll have to see when we get it what kind of features they have on their app, if they have an app. But that is the really cool feature that I liked about the MicroPython ESC. Now that we checked that out, we'll go ahead and really take it out for a run and see what the combination of everything we have here with the motor and the ESC combined, and see how it crawls. All right, so as you guys saw, we had a blast driving this thing on some rocks. Now, of course, there's a lot of components that go into this to help it do what it did there in the video, but at the end of the day, that motor and ESC combination is really what powers everything to do what it did there, from the slow crawl to getting up and down on that rock. Now, you couldn't really tell in the video. I tried to do the best I could to give you an idea of how steep that video was. How steep that rock was, but it was really steep, and it went up it with ease. At the very end, I did have to kind of move the wheels around to get it to complete that obstacle as far as the rock, but it handled it on the most part with ease. Going up and down those rocks was no problem for this. Now, I did run it with my other build, the Bug 24. That one just an Endura build with a brushed motor. That one had issues. I couldn't even get it to go up or come down. Now, we will be upgrading that one in the future with some more Endura parts, but this one with the Furitek ESC and that Mini Komodo motor is a little beast. And again, when I say a little beast, this is a very small working platform with the SCX24, and this thing is great. Now, the performance kit that we bought came with the ESC, the transmission, and the motor. It was $150 from Amain Hobbies. You can also get it from Furitek directly, but I will be linking the Amain link on the bottom. Should you guys want to buy it, you guys can get some points from Amain as well to get some cash back in the future, but I do have that link. They are one of our affiliates, so if you guys want one of these setups, you can pick it up from Amain Hobbies. But overall, I am very impressed with the motor and the MicroPython ESC. It did save me a lot of room, as you can see what I have to work with on this build, and then again with this body. So I love it. It's a lot of fun. I will be doing more brushless setups for my builds going in the future. That Bronco I always talk about has been converted into a Mia's body that my daughter has been driving in one of our RC Super Show videos. You guys saw her driving that red and black one. So a lot of the parts that came off of this build will go into that build, and we'll slowly be upgrading hers. When I get that Endura motor, if it does turn out to be good, I'll probably put that in one of hers. But for now, the Furitek will stay in Daddy's cars. And we'll be taking it out and having some more fun. So as we add some more upgrades, we'll do some more videos on this. And again, I'll be doing a full breakdown on the RC all-wheel drive 20mm extension axles there. These are really wide, and I know I've gotten some questions on them in the past. So I'll do a full video breakdown on that. And again, I do plan on hopefully doing a video about how I painted this body and doing a giveaway on a similar color body. So if you guys could, please remember to subscribe, like, and comment with any questions you have, so that when we do that giveaway, you guys can be a part of that should you want an SCX24 body like this. And again, the Furitek MicroPython and Mini Komodo motor are a great combination at $150, well worth it for a little SCX24 build. We had a lot of fun, and we're going to continue to have a lot of fun with it. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.